Hello viewers, welcome to our today's drawing masterclass. We want to master how to draw. So far, we have learned about how to draw the face of a person, guided by some elements of art like lines. You can see lines, although we always pull them to create a shade. Elements like shapes. The shapes create forms. We have also learned how to apply another element called value, creating values of the different shades. Later on, we shall learn of another element called color. We have also created this composition guided by some principles of art, one of them being dominance, you remember, where you make the artwork to dominate, to stand out from the background. We also used some proportions. We applied proportions where one object should be proportional to the other. And we also did some, when we were drawing the ear, we noticed that there is some kind of symmetry. You have to draw the ear, the opposite ear, symmetrically balanced with the right ear on the other side of the face. That is the principle of symmetrical balance. Later on, we shall learn how to use some other principles later on in the course, like rhythm and movement, and harmony and contrasts. In today's lesson, I want us to think about this principle that we called symmetrical balance. Remember, it was a bit constraining. You are constrained. You have to use some mirror image. You have to draw the exact ear similar to the ear on the other side. You are constrained. And sometimes we even say that symmetrical balance is boring. That's what some artists feel. Because they say that after seeing one side, do you need to see the other side, and you have already seen the one side and you know that the other side looks like the one that you have just seen? So that's why people say that symmetrical balance is boring. So that is why artists came up with another principle called asymmetrical balance. Asymmetrical balance, it is slightly different from symmetrical balance, because in asymmetrical balance, you create some visual balance for your picture without having to be constrained by an imaginary line of symmetry. There is no line of symmetry here, like the one we saw. You can see there is almost an imaginary line of symmetry where objects on one side are balanced by similar objects on the other side of the composition. This, we said, it is constraining, and the artists prefer another kind of symmetry called asymmetrical balance. It is preferred because different objects are balanced by other different objects. Objects on one side are balanced by different objects on the other side of an imaginary line of symmetry, but it is Although we call it imaginary line of symmetry, it does not create a mirror image. It does not have an effect of one eye being balanced by another eye on the opposite side like a mirror image. That is why we say it is more interesting to apply asymmetrical balance in a composition. Today I want us to do some practical. I want us to try this technique of creating asymmetrical balance by creating a composition guided by asymmetrical balance. How do we do it? Let's go ahead, and we have to do them very fast. It's called quick sketch. Now look at this. We have drawn up to that far. But then we realize, what do we do? We have these forms. You can see that we have these forms on this side of this composition. What do we do to create other forms that will balance with these forms? I think we have to do something on this side that will balance the weights. All these weights have to be balanced by something equally interesting on the opposite side of an imaginary line of symmetry. There is always that line, imaginary line of symmetry. So what do? We can create some objects which are of an equal weight in sizes. So we can put the ear here. So this ear will balance with these other forms here. Let's put some ear here. Okay, that one. What do we do? There's so much blank. There's a lot of blank space here. Why don't we put some textures? I think there are some textures that can be balanced with this. Yeah, we create some textures. So Now we come now to the hair texture. It also balance with the textures on the left have to be balanced by textures on the right of the picture. I'm creating some textures, hair textures. But before we create some hair textures, why don't we create a layer of black? The layer of black for the hair. I'm creating a layer of black. I'm now creating this layer. Creating this layer. Having put that layer of black, we can now put the textures, hair textures. I'm putting the hair textures now. Do I put some afro hair texture? I think I'm trying to balance. I'm putting some width on this side to balance with the width on this side. You can see this. The picture has to have some visual, some asymmetrical balance. The picture has to be, you have to force it to have asymmetrical balance. Now I'm about to put some hair textures along the edges of the hair. So that it looks slightly realistic. Now putting some weights on this side, on the right to balance with the weights on the other side. Move an imaginary line of symmetry. So now, I think having done that, you can now try to define we are defining this. comes to shading, you have to take time. Shading takes time. It's just a quick sketch, and I was wondering, how does a picture look like when you twist the mouth a bit? Or you make the mouth small, or you twist it a bit, you twist it, or you twist it to the other side. It changes the expression on the face. Okay, and so that is asymmetrical balance. And what about I'm creating a certain okay. I'm doing a face in 3/4 view where you see only the one ear. In 3/4 view, you don't see the 2 ears. You just see one ear. You're just trying to create composition. Now, this is our picture, but we can see that there is so much weight on this side, and it has to be balanced by some other weights on this side of the face. It is why we all now have to imagine of an imaginary line of symmetry there. So we have to put weights on this side, weights of different shades, different sizes of maybe the ear. The ear can add some weight on this side. The ear can add some, we are adding some weight. Now, we can now start working on the details. We can start working on the details. I'm putting weights on the left of the picture to balance with the weights on the other side, on the right side of the picture. I'm going to put a layer of black for the hair. Hair texture. So now we remove the lines. We are now removing the lines by pulling them to create shades. Sometimes you hold your breath when you are drawing because you want to create a certain effect. You want to create a certain effect. That's why sometimes you have to hold your breath so that it comes out the way you want. And this line is a bit, it's not working for us. We have to pull it to convert it into a shade. That's a rule that we made for ourselves, to be pulling lines. Don't allow lines, don't leave lines in your picture, just pull them. So that the picture stands out from the background. This other line, how do we now remove this line? I think we do the same. We pull it. We pull this line so that it is not left as a line but as a boundary. It becomes the line becomes a boundary between two planes. That's the rule that we developed for ourselves. That's the rule that we developed for ourselves, so that we create shades, not lines. Lines are for texturing. Lines These are for texturing, not for to be left hanging. So that is the picture that we have created to show asymmetrical balance. The forms on this side have been balanced by other forms on the other side. Visually, there is some kind of balance. Although the forms are different on one side, different from the others on the other side, there seems to be some kind of asymmetrical balance. That is I want us to have a look at what we have done. We zoom a bit. We see what we have done. Yeah, that is the work that we have done for now. And the other one was, we also did this, where we balanced the forms on one side with the others on the left by varying their sizes, their shades, and their textures. And we have come to the end of the lesson. I wish that you continue working on your practicals. In our next lesson, we shall learn more about shading. Bye for now. Let's meet in the next video.